Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Wolf Creek Park on beautiful Lake Livingston, Texas. There's the lake right there. I'm going to do a walkthrough through our the campground sites 31 through 50. Kind of starting going through backwards. These are the waterfront sites, are water and 50 amp up to 50 amp service electric. But there's no sewage. So they are right now closed because of COVID-19. They're only allowing campers in sites that have full hookups. So kind of with this sites on the water side, they're RV sites. And then across the street from them, we've got the tent sites. So we'll kind of start with the first site, which is site 50. And the one next to it is a much lower number. I didn't quite understand that, but anyway, it's a kind of a back-in site, and they're all back-in sites, no pull-throughs. We've got a kind of a slope to get down to the site, but once you're down, you're kind of facing sideways. You've got a few trees for shade. You've got a little more room than some of these others at this end that are just not really big enough for a big fifth wheel. This one you probably would be fine. But again, I'm kind of would be leery of that big slope. I don't know if you can tell that kind of slopes down at a pretty big grade. However, the camping pad looks like it's good and level, so that's good. But you do have a nice picnic table ring here, a few feet from the water, so you're not right next to it like our next site. We went from number 40, now we're at number 50. I said the numbering kind of goes off because of, well, I guess the inside, I'm not real sure. It's just the way they did it. So anyway, 50 is a real short site. You are on the water. If you want to be on the water between, 38, 39, and 40, you are good to go. I'll kind of walk into the site, and you can see your camper's right here. You would open the door. You could cast a line from your living room and be in the water. It's nice if you want to, you're a fisherman. I would be great with it, other than it being a little too small for my fifth wheel. Unless I had my 2-year-old granddaughter, then I would be paranoid. Okay, so across the street we do have the tent sites that have electricity and water. And 49 is the only one in this loop that has a tent pad that's set up nice and level. It's nice big space. It doesn't have a whole lot of shade like some of the others. I guess kind of a trade-off. Back to another real short RV site right on the water, number 39. You got a little more shade at this one than you do at number 40. And then again, it's a very short site. The next one we have number 38, and these are within casting distance of the lake, so you're really close. And again, great sites for pop-ups, I would say, because you don't quite take up as much room. But a big fifth wheel, you would more than likely have to be parking in the grass to get your tow vehicle there. Back to the other side, that's number 48. Again, it's got a lot more, no tent pad, but a whole lot more shade. Nice big area, fire ring, fire pit and all. While I'm pointing this direction, I kind of point out that, there is no sewage over here. So if you need to have your little tote to bring your excess gray water or whatever up to the dump station, it's at the top of that big hill up there. It's not real close. It's not something you're going to want to walk, so just kind of keep that in mind. It's not, it's not just a fill the tank, grab it, and walk, 100 yards, and you're there. You've got a very steep hill. You'd probably, at least for me, I would have to tow it with my truck, and kind of be leery of that with the, the kind of the steep slope. Okay, on to number 47. We got, again, quite a bit of room. I haven't camped myself personally in a tent since Ronald Reagan was president, so can't say much about it. when we had a pop-up when my daughter was growing up, she informed us that we had forced her to stay out in a tent. I kind of remember it otherwise, like we allowed her and her friends to stay in the tent, which was something that she wanted to do, but she remembers it different today. Except when the tree fell down on and just barely missed their tent at Palmetto State Park. The rest of that trip, she stayed in the pop-up camper with us. 48's another site. We got a really good area here. Looks like some smoother areas to pitch a tent. A lot of pine cones you'd have to move, and you're right across from an open area. You've got a couple spots where we don't have any campsites on there, so if you're in 47, 46, or you're you pretty much got lakefront. You just have to cross the street and walk just a couple steps to the water, and there's no campers in between you. So if you're a tent camper, I would probably suggest those, even though they don't have a tent pad. I think you could come up with a good enough level spot. Okay, now we're getting into sites that I would feel more comfortable with my fifth wheel in. 36 doesn't quite have as much shade, but at least you've got a little bit more steps to the water. You have to be a pretty good caster to throw in from the living room, but you probably still could. Again, beautiful property right there. Just kind of nice. Not my first choice yet. We're getting close to it. Now number 45. Again, kind of a good site, and you've got the tents. You need the bathroom. You're getting a little bit closer to the bathroom, so 45 might not be bad. And again, you just kind of walk straight across the street to the water, so it wouldn't be, you got to go down a few feet to get past the camper, but it'd be a good tent site. Lots of tree stumps, though, or tree roots down there, so it might be a little harder finding a place to plant your tent. Then number 44. Looks like a pretty good spot. Again, you've got an open